Hello everyone, welcome back to Model Monstrosities. So yeah, in this video, I wanted to make a battle between two giant monsters. One of which I made in my first video. I wanted to make another one of those, instead of using the original, because I don't really want to use the original, he's pretty nice. I want to make them bigger too, and the other one is a creature that was made up recently. And so, I want to get to it. So the first thing we're going to need is a base, but I do want to do an overhead shot here. Yeah, I'm going to be using this wooden grilling plank, I think it is. Yeah, anyway. I'm going to chop it. Oh yeah, that was easy. And send that out a bit, and then chop it again. You may see my dinosaur toys off to the side, because I'm going to make the monsters out of dinosaur toys, or parts of them out of dinosaur toys. Or at least I already have, but they're off to the corner there, and yeah, I was using them for comparison. But anyway, then I covered the surface of it in cookie batter, which is a recipe I showed you guys how to make in my first video. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I wanted some texture on it, so that's why I covered it in cookie batter. I just shaved some off the side, or I wanted to, and then I actually painted it brown, and then I added this, I think it was, I don't remember. Then this tan light colored stuff, yeah, I dry brushed it over the surface with a large makeup brush. As you can see, that worked out pretty nice. Yeah, I like the look of that. I do like dry brushing. Anyway, it's time for some grass. I didn't want green grass, I used some dead grass, but I wanted to spread around some glue. The interesting thing about that is, where you're spreading around the glue is where the grass is going to be, because that's where the grass is going to stick. So you got to be careful where you put it, because if you get it on a little spot, you're going to have to wipe that off, and it might still be a little bit sticky. So you got to be careful when doing the glue for the static grass. And also, do not zap yourself on the static thing, because I'll bet you it hurts. Yeah, then I cleaned up. But anyway, it's time to move on to the monsters. By the way, I did actually add a little dinosaur bone skeleton toy thing on the base. But yeah. Yep, that looks pretty nice. I'm gonna take this guy's head off. Yeah, that's where the seam is. There's sometimes a seam, not the mold line, but where they put the two pieces together here. And it was conveniently at his head, so I pulled that off. Anyway, hey, giraffe puppet, can I have my normal back?
Oh, yeah, sure. Here you go. Be careful with it.
Ah, thanks. Alright, yeah, well. Yeah, don't forget to wear your safety glasses. I know it's a little hard to hear me over the Dremel, but sometimes if you have your arm in the wrong spot while you're using the Dremel on plastic dinosaur toys like this, it can spray molten plastic at your arm here. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, so don't do that. Well, that looks pretty good. I think I might want to revisit some of those arms and legs and stuff, but yep. Now, I know I kind of whizzed by some of the stuff in this video, but I didn't want to make the video too long, and you may not know, but editing a video like this sucks. It wasn't too bad this time, but it took a little while, and I didn't want to spend all my time doing every little detail, and if I had, it probably would be a pretty long video. In fact, I don't know. I don't even know if that's possible. But here I chopped off his arms and repositioned them with some super glue and chopping them, but yeah. We'll be patching this up later in the video. I will. But anyway, yeah, here I'm using some baking powder. If you have not heard, baking powder is a pretty nice super glue accelerator thing, and I think it supposedly strengthens it too. But yeah, here, this is the original I made in my first video. I'm gonna be making this, or the one gearing up to. Here's some ping pong balls, or table tennis balls I got at the dollar store. Yeah, why am I doing it again? But I'm gonna open this up, and we're gonna use these, ping pong balls for his mouth. But we have to, alright, yeah, let's chop it. I'll chop it, and, but yeah, there we are, in half. In my first video, I used a Lego piece. I was actually thinking about using a ping pong ball, but I couldn't find one, so I bought some at the dollar store. Dollar store is, I get a lot of my, tools and crafting materials there. Maybe not. I mean, obviously not all. These dinosaur toys came from the thrift store, actually. Each one cost like 20 cents. It was a big bag of dinosaur toys for, I think it was $4 and something like 97 cents or something. So I guess that's about $5. But yeah, about here. Hey, giraffe puppet, could you hand me that longer neck? It's got the long neck dinosaur toy. No, not that one.
This
The
one?
other one. Oh,
Okay.
yeah, that's it. Thanks.
Here you go. You need
No,
anything
I'm
else?
good for now. But I might need you to take this back.
Sounds good.
Okay, so yeah, I was thinking about using this guy's feet, but I decided not to. I think I'm just gonna use the original feet. Here you go, giraffe puppet. But didn't I just give it to you? Yeah. So these are the feet, the original feet from the Triceratops thing. Yeah, these are some pine needles I'm going to use for his teeth, which I glued on as his teeth, as I said. Yeah.
Work time.
So yeah, here's one of my bits boxes. This has got like some of my little special bits and pieces. Here are some hemispherical rhinestones. I kind of showed all this to you guys in the first video. I'm kind of showing you again. I think the one I made in the first video looked a little bit more realistic, maybe. But here I was using some aluminum foil to fill in some things. Yeah, here I'm using a cheap elephant toy.
Head, I want to use.
But mostly his head. I also was going to use his tail. You can get this. I got this one at the dollar store. I don't think they sell at all the dollar stores, but this one was there. I chopped out the trunk and the tusks. I did give him tusks later, but the ones he had were a little dull.
Yep.
I don't think they would.
That's
be
right.
Oh yeah, here I'm using some DOS, I think it's called. I don't know. But I usually do the milliput stage here, but they're kind of big, and I just wanted to patch them up without spending too much money. So yeah, use some clay tools and some water. Water helps smooth it out and stuff, and then I used the silicone tools to like try to match the texture that they have already. But yeah, I'm gonna paint these ones. You may have noticed that I painted the base a little early too. And I'm gonna paint these guys because I'm gonna paint them and then put the whole thing together, which is not what I usually do. But I don't think I've made a diorama yet in my channel, so I'm making one here. I don't know if that's the reason, but I'm just making it. But yeah, I painted them both similarly, both the same way I painted the Wanderer and the Warthog in my first video. Yeah, I talk a lot about. But wait, here, yeah, I was using a wash, just paint and water on them. I don't think I've ever actually bought a pre-made wash. I always make my own, usually anyway. There are a lot of different types of washes you can make. I like the ink wash, but when it dries, it kind of disappears. I don't think the ink wash that I make is meant for painting. I think it's meant for, like, tinting things, you know? That thing? But that mess? Alrighty, so, these guys are taking just a little while to dry, and I'm pretty impatient, so sometimes I like to have this little fan. Not always this one, but a little fan. He's my biggest fan. Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, here I'm dry brushing. And, yeah. The thing is, the wash was a little thick. I kind of thickened it. It was thinner before. It was a different wash. I dry brushed over it, and yeah, it's kind of coming down outside, so if you hear a little bit of rain background noise, that's due to that. Unless it isn't. Anyway, yeah, I want to talk, this potato on legs that I'm painting right here. Well, it's not really a potato on legs. I did add his tail, as you can see. And by the way, his tusks are some plastic fork things that I used. But I don't have a name for him, is the thing. And I was wondering if, at least I thought it'd be interesting if some people in the comments maybe could give some name suggestions. It would be appreciated, because I think it'd be pretty cool. No promises about taking them, but, or accepting them, but I'd like to at least hear what you think. Maybe he should be called. I do make a lot of my monsters muscular, mostly by turning the dinosaur toy bodies around. Yeah. The elephant head, I think, turned out pretty good. I don't really have a story behind him, really. They're very strong, very aggressive creatures. I don't know if they're carnivores or what. Maybe they're just territorial. Yeah, how about that? They're territorial, and maybe how about they're herbivores? No. Omnivores. They're omnivores, but they prefer, plants, actually. But they're very territorial. They're at least a little territorial. But as you can see, they have the tusks. The warthog, which I talked about in my first video, they eat metal, and they don't really feel much pain. Here I'm using a toothpick to do the eyes. I don't know if I've ever seen a YouTube video where somebody used a toothpick for painting, but I usually use it for eyes. And on something larger like this, it works reasonably well. Oh, isn't he cute? Except not. Yep, painting the warts is the best part. Okay, probably not. I don't really enjoy painting that much. The dry brushing might be the best part. Now, this warthog that I made here, I explained why they're called warthogs in my first video. He looks cool in a different sort of way as the other one. The other one looks more realistic, I think, if you ask me. But yeah, here is my wood collection. The other bag that I set down earlier was a bag of balsa wood. Which, I mean, it's not too expensive. It's not super cheap, but it takes texture pretty well, especially from a wire brush. Well, I don't know if it wouldn't take texture very well from anything else, but wire brush is pretty good. Here is some wire mesh I used. You should see some of it later. But I cut out, textured, and kind of made like my own little kit thing for making a little fortress on his back, if you saw the thumbnail. I don't know why you wouldn't have, unless you're like, oh, he's got a new video, oh, gotta hit it! I don't know if you are. But yeah, I stained them with an oil wash. No, not an oil wash. A ink wash that I made with marker ink and water. It is, I actually opened up another marker because I saw it down on my desk over there. You can't see me pointing, can you? Never mind. But, yeah, I glued them, yeah, together. This might be the first time I've ever used, or here, an ink wash to stain wood. And it actually worked pretty well. maybe you could use paint and water, but I think this worked out pretty well, and, I mean, after they're dried, it's pretty nice. I added in antenna, some little piles of junk, and a little generator thing, and also a pile of wood chunks, which is supposed to be wood crates.
Well,
Alright, so what am I doing here? Oh yeah, I was adding a little wire thing leading from the generator. I don't know what it is, I think it's a generator, but I hear I was using some little tissue things to make a little blanket thing that goes on the warthog's back. The warthog is the one with the sideways mouth and no eyes. They are blind, is my thought. Maybe they have some sort of other sense. Or something. Maybe, I don't know. They don't really have eyes. I'm thinking about making another version sometime that has eyes. But I'm not sure how he sensed that, that potato on legs coming toward him. But, elephants, you see some elephants with the carriages on the back things. They got the blankets on the back sometimes. I made a cannon out of a heat shrink tube and some spherical shapes from this necklace. And there it is. I also used some wood. I used a few other things, but those were some of the things that I didn't use earlier. Well, I probably did, but... yeah, there I was using a exacto knife to get rid of some of the mold lines, I think. Yeah, there's some thunder. But I was painting this guy. He's a little figure, IMAX Mini, that came from the Lewis and Clark set. I learned about these IMAX figures from Boiler Hobby Time. He's got a really good channel. You should definitely go check that out. I did make some ladders and a staircase thing out of some of that mesh, or some of the mesh, and here I was doing some rust with some Mod Podge, some iron filings, I don't know. But later I'm going to rust those up. Then I used some jewelry chains to make it look like those were holding the fortress onto his back. I tried to make them look slack on one side and tight on the other one, or pulled taut, I don't know what that's called. Anyway, because it's supposed to be like tipping over because he's like rearing up. I did notice that both the chains, they're, I don't know, I feel like the cannon would be tipping, falling, maybe not tipping, but falling, rolling down. Anyway, this is Rust Accelerator, which is peroxide and vinegar and salt. It's supposed to be 2 parts peroxide, 1 part vinegar, and a little bit of salt. I did it wrong because I poured too much of some of the stuff, and it ended up being something like 2 parts vinegar, 1 part peroxide, and a lot of salt. But it worked pretty well, and but here I'm cooling them down. But yeah, I think that's one build, at least about half, completed. We may have noticed that I said this build is about half completed. That's because I'm planning to come back to it sometime soon, in a future video. Maybe. I don't know how soon it'll be. But thanks a lot for watching. Please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Or actually, more likely, see me in the